Welcome to our virtual learning class. Our topic is familiar and unfamiliar experiences. Dear students, in part 1 of this unit, we have discussed experience and you are familiar with experience. Again, let me define the word experience. Whatever we do in our life, that is our experience. And whatever we get from the experience, that comes under achievement. That's why all the students will have to focus your study on topic 1, exercise 1.5, and topic is familiar and unfamiliar experiences. Dear students, let me define the word familiar. Whatever you know and whatever things you get and you try to know about them, or you are already familiar with these things, comes under familiar, and on the other side, unfamiliar things, the things which are not in our touch and which are not in our surroundings, or which we have never seen in our life, comes under unfamiliar things, and these are our unfamiliar experiences. That's why while reading the text, you have to recognize these things, whether they are around your surroundings or outside your surroundings. Directly we focus on our text material that is given here, exercise 1.5, familiar and unfamiliar experiences. Presentation, the price of success. There are two people, Don and Ricky. You have to ready with your text material and you have to focus your mind on the text. First of all, Don. Well, there are a lot of things that we will need to get used to professionally. We have always sung very informally. Of course, we have been invited to sing at social functions like parties and weddings, and we have often had things written about us in the local press, but we have always sung mostly for fun, and we have never used any expensive comments, and now suddenly it is all different. We sing in a studio and we are told what to do by a producer, and we have everything recorded onto tape. I think it spoils it in some ways, but I suppose it's all part of being successful. Similarly, Ricky says here, yes, I think the biggest difference is going to be publicity. We have always lived a very quiet life, and we don't usually go out much except to sing on Saturday nights down at the pub. But now all that's changing. We are already recognized in the street, and sometimes people stare at us or come up and ask us for a long autograph, and we keep having our photograph taken. It seems really stands to us now, but I expect we'll get used to it eventually. Dear friends, you have listened the text material. Let me define what are the familiar experiences and what are the unfamiliar experiences taken by Don and Ricky Hanley. First of all, you know very well that The things recognized by the people are kept under familiar experiences, and which are not recognized, they are kept under unfamiliar experiences. As done. Done used to sing. Used to sing informally. Informally. Don used to sing informally means it's his familiar experience, because he is recognized with this activity, or he is habitual with this activity. That's why it comes under familiar experiences. On the other side, but done doesn't go to formal recording that is his unfamiliar experiences. That's why from both statements you have to learn that what is well known or what has been being done is the familiar activity, familiar experience, and what hasn't been doing, that comes under unfamiliar or new experiences. That's why there is vast difference between the word familiar and unfamiliar. For example, Rita plays piano. This is her familiar experience. Familiar experience. And John hasn't sung a song. It is his unfamiliar experience. Similarly, you can poem, you can write, and you can create many sentences related to familiar experiences and unfamiliar experiences. That's why you have to keep these things in your mind and try to practice a lot for recognizing these familiar and unfamiliar experiences of your as well as the text mentioned here. There are some text questions. Number A is given, what things are Don and Ricky used to? V, what things are they not used to? Dear students, you have been already told that Don and Ricky used to sing informally. They have been invited to sing at social functions like parties and weddings. This means that they used to go to social functions like parties and weddings. This means their familiar activity is going to different parties and weddings and sing there informally. Our question number B is, what things are they not used to do? It is clear from the text that they are not used to go to sing formally under many equipments. Similarly, there are many other examples. They are not used to having their photograph taken, as well as they are not used to singing songs in formal classes or in the studio. Thank you. It's clear. Then after, we have to take our second exercise, that is exercise 1.6, new experiences. Practice. Examination questions. Dear students, let me guide you. Example, which is in your text. I can't get to sleep. I can't get to sleep. Dot 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 is given. Question is given, and you have to follow the example. First attempt, second attempt, and third attempt. First model is given. This is the first time. I have ever slept in tent. I have ever This is the first time I ever slept in tent is first model, and second, I have never flown at night before. I have never flown at night before. And third is, I am not used to having siesta. Listen me. If you are with great consideration, you have to follow 3 answers of the example, I can't get to sleep. There are given 3 reasons of this statement, the writer tells that I can't get to sleep. And you have to follow three examples here. First one is that this is the first time I have ever slept in a tent. That's why he could not sleep. Reason is given. It is used in present perfect tense. Now I have never flown at night before. I have never flown at night before. That is the second cause of the given question. And third reason is that I am not used to having siesta. That's why the writer can't get to sleep. Dear students, you have to follow your textbook and you have to practice a lot of at your home with the help of model example. Please let me explain some more questions related to your text. Sharmila has very poor English. This means that C, you have to follow. This means that this is the first time C has touched English book. Second, she has never learnt English. And third, she is not practicing English. These are the reasons of being poor in English. Similarly, you have to focus your study on the model examples and solve many more questions which are given in your text. Free practice. Dear students, finally, before wrapping my class of today, you will be taught most important question for your examination, that is use to plus ing. It is used with the structure subject plus be plus used to plus ing plus object. You are well familiar with the structure and its use. Please let me explain how to use it and what to use it. Basically, this structure is used for showing present habit. It is showing present habit or the habit which we have still today. The work which we have been doing till the date. That is the present habit. For example, Sohan is used to singing a song. You are very clear about the concept that Sohan is subject here, be means be form, is here, then after used to, then after ing form, sing plus ing singing, and finally object. This is used to show the present habit. Similarly, you can form many more sentences using the same structure. Suppose I am used to teaching Nepali. Many more. You can change object from here. For example, I am used to teaching science, teaching maths, teaching Urdu, teaching French, Japanese, etc. But you should keep in mind that there should be B form. B form means here basically is, am, are. Without V form, the structure, the sentence cannot be complete and it will not give clear meaning to the concept. That's why you always should use structure of used to plus ing to show your present habit, not at all past habit. Thank you. Dear students, whatever teacher teaches in the classroom is not sufficient for the students. You have to take extra things. You have to do lot of practice for your better knowledge and for your competent. That's why I'm going to set homework for your practice. That's why please be ready and follow me. Write any 10 sentences that you are familiar with. Number 2, write any 10 sentences using used to plus ing. Thank you. I would like to close or wrap up my virtual class for today. We will meet in our next session. Thank you. Goodbye.